And the Republicans are good for that.
No, they're good for cutting out that line. Nobody wants to cut taxes. They'll just increase the spending toward the military.
So this is an article I had sitting there for a while, and sometimes, as I go over these things, you have to find the right time.
Okay.
So as you brought that up.
So let me try to pull this all together. My issue was here. There's this fear of black people, and you and I both agree that I guess we shouldn't be agreeing. We should be arguing on this, but that this is due to the media's portrayal of us and the usage of these code words that ignite this fear.
Absolutely. And the media continues to perpetuate that.
So there's nothing we can do then.
Yeah,
because the media is bigger than all of us.
There's things you can do.
Well, how does that? And you think it's just black males, but I'm not walking around afraid as a female that the police are going to stop me.
But listen,
but to stop and humiliate my man in front of me is worse than, because that's the person I look to for protection. So when you see somebody like Eric Garner or any of these guys go down, and you think that could have been my man or my son or my father or my brother or my uncle, what does that do to us who have to feel that we are without protection?
Okay, here it is. We went over this. Here it is. When this is in the Huffington Post. When the media treats white suspects and killers better than black victims.
Oh, yes. I was here that day when we did that show. Earlier when it was nice and warm outside.
Yeah. This is the white suspect. Alabama suspect, brilliant but social misfit.
This guy shot up 30 people in a church.
That's how the Lubbock Avalanche Journal chose to present the story of Amy Bishop, a former college professor who eventually pleaded guilty to killing 3 colleagues and wounding 3 others at a faculty meeting in 2010. So she killed 3.
Oh, this is the sister who did that?
Yeah, and she wounded 3. Right? Now, here's the black victim. Montgomery latest homicide victim had history of narcotic abuse, tangles with the law. That's the headline that AL.com run about the shooting to death of a 25-year-old black man in Alabama earlier this year. Okay? Now, let's go to Staten Island, where you working. White suspect. Son in Staten Island murders was brilliant, athletic, but his demons were the death of his parents. He didn't kill his parents.
He killed his parents?
This is how the Staten Island Advance covered the case of Eric Bellucci, a mentally ill New York man who allegedly killed his parents. Now here's Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin was suspended 3 times from school, right? Meanwhile, NBC ran this headline during an ongoing coverage of the Trayvon Martin killing. He was suspended 3 times from school, right? Couldn't find nothing else. Now let's go to Eugene. It's all across the country.
Who knows what he was suspended for?
Eugene, Oregon. Here we go. Oregon school shooting suspect fascinated with guns, but was a devoted Mormon, his friends say. We laughing, but we laughing. But this is real, Listen, Marjorie and I didn't make this up now. We just read it, and this is from the well-regarded Huffington Post. HuffingtonPost.com. The Fox News headline quoted friends shocked that 15-year-old Jared Michael Paget had entered his high school heavily armed, killed a classmate, injured a teacher, and took his own life. But he was a devoted Mormon. Here is a black victim.
Fascinated with guns.
Huh?
Fascinated with guns.
Here's a black victim. Police. Slain Lakeland teen had been shot before. Death possibly drug-related. Oh, my God. In Florida, this headline in the Ledger focused on a police account that made the death of a black man or black 19-year-old man seems somehow expected, or at least unsurprising. Right? We're going to just read 2 more. White suspect. We're going to Santa Barbara now. We're moving across the country. It's a caravan. We're taking a caravan across the country here. In the Vllage with Anselm Marjorie is having this caravan that's going all across the country.
Looking at headlines.
Looking at headlines to see how they treat us evenly. You get even Steven. Santa Barbara shooting. Suspect was soft-spoken, polite, a gentleman, ex-principal says. He was polite, soft-spoken, a gentleman, ex-principal says.
What did this guy do?
In the wake of the mass shooting in Santa Barbara, California earlier this year, the Whittier Daily News offered a headline showing one man's disbelief that Elliott could have committed such a crime. Mass shooting now. He didn't say how much people he shoot, but mass means more than 5.
Yeah.
I would surmise. Now here's the black victim. Ohio man was carrying a variable pump air rifle, not a toy, when cops killed him, Attorney General. This is from New York now. Earlier this month, the New York Daily News ran this headline, carrying comments by the Ohio Attorney General that appeared to defend police after killing a black man at the Walmart. Here's this one. This is in Ohio. White suspect. Ohio shooting suspect T.J. Lane described as a fine person.
Wow.
This was the headline given to an Associated Press story as mlive.com about an Ohio teen who later pleaded guilty to a school shooting in which 3 students were killed and 2 were wounded. Can you imagine that? That's why that's why we should just don't even waste your time watching the news. If you want to listen
or watch alternative sources.
Yeah, listen to NPR. WNYC.
NYC.
PBS. Democracy Now.
Democracy Now. BBC.
BBC.
Okay. Al Jazeera's kind of okay.
Yeah. Listen to that. Don't go and listen to that other stuff. And here is the last one. The deputy, this is the black victim. Deputy killed Marine out of fear for children's safety, officials said. I guess the Marine was black. When an unarmed father of 2 was killed by a police officer while entering a vehicle that contained his own children, the Los Angeles Times served up this claim from officials. The deputy, who is the police, killed the Marine out of fear for child safety. The guy was going in his car that had his kids, so they killed him, thinking that somehow he was going to harm the kids. And here's the last one. This is a great one for you. Great one. Straight A students plots to bomb high school. Listen to it. Straight A students plots to bomb high school. Think about that. How could you put straight A with a plot to bomb a high school? In 2008, 18-year-old Ryan Schallenberger was accused of plotting to bomb his South Carolina high school. Ohio's Chronicle Telegram wanted readers to know that he was a straight A student, running an AP story with that headline. So, I mean, you know what? I mean, Marjorie, you really...
I think I might have the sound you're looking for. What's it going to happen?
There you go.
It all goes down the toilet, and
yeah, I got to get that. Because I got to start flushing people. Seriously. Because, you know, Marjorie, and, some people might be listening and say, what happened to Marjorie and Anselm tonight, boy? Because these things happen. This is reality. This is not fiction. This is all true. Soledad O'Brien did that story on CNN last night. I mean, it is mind-boggling. And I got you got a female son. I have a female son, and I've told my son, I've told him to drill. Even when I get stopped, I know the drill.
But again, it must weigh on your psyche to think, I'm black, I have to be cognizant of everything that I do.
No. I can't live my life like that. I do not live my life like that.
In some inadvertent way. It must. Maybe that's why kids are always hooded up and slouched down and walk in a certain way. There's some sign, of oppression when you're always hooded over and you're slouching and you're walking in a certain gait. Because when you go to other countries that are full of black people, black men walk straight.
But Marjorie, do you see, that's the point I was going to raise. Being that I grew up in Trinidad made a difference. Mm-hmm. So if I had grew up in America, because it would have been 18 years of oppression.
50 years of oppression. 100, however long you're able to live.
However long. But for the first 18 years of my life, I didn't face any oppression. We were poor, but I thought I was rich in spirit, rich in food.
And you didn't know that because you were black, you were supposed to feel less.
Right. I didn't feel like I didn't feel racism. I didn't feel like if certain people were against me. But as soon as I came to America in 1977, man, I got a rude awakening. Did I tell you when we went to the national championship in Schenectady, New York? Mm-mm. So I'll give you a quick story. I went to Boys and Girls High School.
Right.
And we were one of the top track and field teams in New York. So we went to the New York State Championship, upstate New York in Schenectady. There was about 8 of us. We were good. 8 of us, we went up and, we had this one last race. It was a relay. And if we had won the race, we would have won the championship. We would have beat all those other teams. All those other teams from upstate New York. And, because they look at from Brooklyn as urban place.
Right. Inner city urban.
Yeah, that's urban in the city. And they're like suburban outer city. Uh-huh. And who are these urban boys going to come up here? A bunch of black kids. You're all black, Hispanic and all. And in the last race, one of the judges said that one of our runners stepped on the inner line 7 times. And we got disqualified. I went to my coach. I said, Coach, how did he check 7 times that he ran on the inner line? He said, Anselm, welcome to America. That's what he told me. I said, what do you mean? He said, welcome to America. He said, Anselm, where we are here is a predominantly white community, and it's very difficult for them to understand an all-black team from Brooklyn, New York, coming in to upstate New York and taking back the championship trophy back to Brooklyn. They just weren't going to allow that. I didn't understand it. I did not understand it because I'm from Trinidad, man. I'm like, man, we run, we win. He was like, no, it's not like that. And that was my first introduction. I just didn't know. I didn't. All the time I was running around here naive, like, hey, listen, man, everything is cool. Everything is good. Everything is all fair. Then I started to see it. Oh, I said, so.
You're in the land of the free.
The land of the free. It is the land of the free, though. It is.
Free to be afraid to go outside? Is that
no, but it's
freedom?
better than a lot of other countries, though. We got to be honest.
How do you know that?
Yeah, because I've been to quite a few other countries.
So have I, and I don't see how do we know that this is better for me because this is what I understand, but I don't know if it's better. I don't know if it's better. Mm. And we've had this conversation before that there's nowhere else for me to run to, not unless you're going to open up, 500 acres in Trinidad. Somewhere.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing that.
Uh-huh. There's nowhere to run to, Anselm.
Yeah. Well, I think that you have a point there. That's the difference in that. I could pick up tomorrow and I could just go back in Trinidad and decide I want to live in Trinidad. Or I could go back and go to Tobago and want to live in Tobago. Because my father lives in Tobago and he has all his land in Tobago.
Well, he should, have a retreat someplace for us to run to.
Yeah, I might just say, Dad, give me 2 acres, man.
2 acres ain't gonna do nothing. That ain't enough space. 2 acres.
Yeah, but I put up a little shack. I don't need anything else.
Oh, for you?
Yeah, I just put up